the Board of Commissioners in Whiteclay?
Yes.
You specified on the rec that you will sometimes pick people up that were passed out on the street. Is that correct?
If there's somebody passed out, a lot of times we're called on the individual, a lot of times we're patrolling and find somebody that appears to be passed out. We check on them, see if we can get them, if they're passed out or sleeping, and try to get them to go home or someplace that they can be well taken care of.
All right, when you say passed out, I'm assuming that you're talking about passed out from the consumption of alcohol. Am I right? Yes.
Right.
And do you observe empty cans of beer in the streets of Whiteclay? Do you observe empty cans of beer in the streets of Whiteclay?
Depends on what time of day it is.
So how about at 8 o'clock in the morning?
8 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
Mostly the beer cans from the night before have been picked up by the can collectors by that time.
How about noon?
Well, there might be a few around by noon.
3?
Either there or on private property. Either on the street or the
But how much? How many cans?
oh, depends what day it is, but maybe half a dozen throughout town. Dozen.
So, your testimony, okay, how about 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock p.m.
PM, there's probably double that.
There's a decent amount of cans of beer on the streets of Whiteclay when you're there. Are you there?
I'm going to object form of the question, and he's been answering it for hour by hour by hour. I think those answers
I'm just stating
sustain.
objection. Form of question.
I just wanted to clarify, there was a lot of discussion of certain dispatch law, the dispatch laws, right? The
Yeah.
purpose of the dispatch laws, that doesn't include your normal patrol time, right? So if you chose to go and patrol in an area, it would not show up on the dispatch law, is that correct?
Well, if they're called for a call like in Hay Springs or Whiteclay, it'll show when they got the call, when they got there.
Right, and I'm sorry, you may not have made the question very clear. I'm talking about like normal patrol. The normal patrol times wouldn't show up on the dispatch law if you just chose to go patrol an area, right?
Yeah, it won't say like I'm on Main Street, Rushville.
And I apologize if you said this and I didn't hear it. The hours to sell alcohol in Whiteclay, Nebraska are what? What hours are allowed for the sale of alcohol?
Well, if I read the state statute right, 6 a.m. to midnight.
When you say state statute, do you mean
Liquor.
state law?
Yeah, liquor.
And is that your understanding that regarding sales of alcohol in Whiteclay, Nebraska, then, that that's what the limitations are?
That's my belief, yes.
Do you have particular days of the week that are more, that you're more likely to want to patrol Whiteclay? Particular days of the week that you're more likely to want to patrol that area?
Well, it depends on what's, that could come down for a lot of things. If there's some major going on across the state line, like a powwow or something like that, graduation, And so it depends, you know, around the first of the month, the middle of the month, it just depends on what's going on, how you would like to have somebody there more than just, you know, that's.
Okay, is it fair to say that it doesn't really matter, the days of the week doesn't really matter, it's just other incidents?
Well, money and other incidents, yeah.
And are all of the stores in, the beer stores in Whiteclay, Nebraska, are they open 7 days a week? What can you tell me about that?
Jumping Eagle is closed on Saturday.
All day Saturdays?
All day Saturday.
And then everyone else?
They open on weekdays. They open weekdays and Saturdays. I think they open around 8:30 in the morning. Depends on what's going on. Some of them are closed by 10, 10:30, 11.
When you say some of them, are you talking about all 4 liquor stores?
No, I'm not talking about all 4 liquor stores.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. That was the wrong, that was a bad question. I apologize. You said some of them close at 11. Who closes at 11?
The Jumping Eagle religiously closes at 11.
They're closed on Saturdays and they religiously close at 11?
Yes.
Are they closed on Sunday?
No.
I'm sorry, did you say no?
No.
Just for the record, I believe that your proposal is a 7-day Adventist, he's closed on Saturday, if the information is correct, that was closed on Saturdays. I find it should use the term religiously 11, but then religiously Saturday. I'm just wondering, that was the question, you used the term religiously, I'm like,
No.
All right. And then as far as the other 3 stores, then what time do they close on a daily basis?
Depends on the amount of traffic. Sanford on Monday nights, Tuesdays, they may close at 10:30. Arrowhead, depends on the traffic, they may be out of there by 11, 11:30. State Line is what I've observed has been the ones that are right by the state law that they have to be closed as well.
As well. So, Sheriff, how often do you actually patrol after midnight in Whiteclay, Nebraska? So when I say you, I mean you and the deputy.
At least 5 days a week after midnight, depending on what's going on in the rest of the county. You know, if there's something going on in Rushville, the chief officer's busy, they may not get there till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. But we try to hit Whiteclay, drive through, check the businesses, see if there's any break-ins, and check for people that may have medical problems or passed out.
And your testimony is that you go there approximately 5 days a week after midnight?
An average, if not more.
And when did you start doing that?
Huh?
When did you start doing that?
When I got enough people. When I got more than 2 deputies, I started doing that, because I started putting the night police on.
So So you didn't keep track of these logs until November 2016?
No.
And these, the Whiteclay licenses, they have off-sale only privileges, is that correct?
Right.
There's no consumption of alcohol on the premises?
That's correct.
I have no further questions.
I got 3 questions.
Okay.
You testified earlier that you generally come in under budget every year, at least the last couple of years. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the county board is the entity which sets your budget and allocates you the funds to conduct your operations, correct?
Correct.
Last fall, at a hearing held before the legislature, one of those commissioners stated that you don't have adequate resources to provide adequate law enforcement. Are you aware of that statement?
What was that?
Are you aware that Commissioner Anderson made a statement when asked by, I believe, Senator Coash, that if they had adequate resources to provide law enforcement, he responded, absolutely not. Are you aware that he made that statement?
I heard that he made that statement.
Because that's where I'm getting confused. You've got one of the people who fund you saying you don't have enough resources, and yet every year then you said you return money back. Is there a way you can explain that discrepancy?
I'm not trying to interrupt the witness, but to help you, I will have the Commissioner as my next witness who will give you the exact budget numbers.
Okay, I was confused.
And there was 4 questions.
Okay, I will wait until the next commissioner.
Okay, I could answer that a little bit if you wanted me to.
No, wait, I mean, if there's best evidence, I'll look for best evidence. Any redirect?
And approach the witness, I think I can be a little...
What? Can I ask, actually, I have 2 questions if I could.
Okay.
I'm kind of in a different business, but I respect the heck out of you. I couldn't do what you do and cover all shifts with even 5 people, which you don't always have. It can't be done.
Right.
So you must have some shifts that have some voids or aren't covered. But I heard you say when the attorney asked you that sometimes you double and have to have 3 officers on some shifts. So that means there's some shifts that you're a little short and it's on call only. Is that correct?
Well, if I'm short, a lot of times at 7 o'clock I'll go home and then I'll be on call till 10 or 9 when I have an officer coming on. So.
And I'm very respectful of on-call. I'm in medical business. I understand they provide nursing staff around the clock, so I know your numbers, and it can't be done. That's why I'm asking how you cover these shifts without people. You're saying you become the man. I understand. Okay.
And then in between 6 and 8 in the morning, I got them on an on-call basis that you get off at 6. If something happens before 7, you handle it. If something happens after 7, the day guy coming on handles it.
Okay. Then I could ask, and I appreciate this. Whiteclay seems to be the issue they're worried about. You drive through after hours, make sure things are locked up, and then there's no damage. Would you believe there could be sales at 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning?
I never seen it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Sheriff Robbins, remember Mr. Donovan badgering you about this call log that you made up for Whiteclay, or I should say more appropriately, a log where you and your deputies were actually in Whiteclay?
Yeah.
Mr. Snyder, I can't hear you very well.
All right, I'll speak up. Now, the letter from the Liquor Commission, you asked Jamie Simmons to respond to that letter, is that right?
That's correct.
And when you did that, you gave her you put the information from your log in the form that it needed to be? or in a form that was easy for the commission to review. Is that fair?
Form that I thought would be easy to review.
You help me with that exhibit number. I thought it was 147, but it's not.
That would be, that number would be. 155, I believe.
Thank you.
Yes, 155.
Now, you were being accused of not providing the information from this log that you started taking, but Exhibit 155, beginning on pages 6 and continuing through page 10, is that the information compiled that you described starting in November of 16?
Yeah.
And is it true that the information that you compiled for this commission actually begins on November 28th, not, well, actually November 4th of 2016?
Yeah.
And that's on page 9?
Yeah.
And that ran through November 28th, 9 and 10. And you've also provided information for December on page 8, is that correct?
That's correct.
And then you've provided information for completely through January on page 6, is that right? And this does portray the times that you were there after midnight or before midnight or whenever throughout the day, but you meaning your department, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, you remember Mr. Domina implying at least that you couldn't find anywhere in your dispatch logs that you actually transported people to and from Whiteclay, or I'm sorry, to and from the Pine Ridge Reservation.
That's what he said.
Okay, so one of the exhibits he was looking at was 147. I don't understand what some of these terms mean, but on April 6th you refer to OST ambulance. What is that?
That's the Oklahoma Sioux tribal ambulance.
So on that particular date, you would have, somebody, you or one of your deputies would have called the Pine Ridge ambulance.
Yes.
And then it indicates that the deputy will take caller's brother to the IHS hospital. What is the IHS hospital?
It's Pine Ridge, it's Oklahoma Sioux.
Does that stand for Indian Health Services?
Yes.
And it indicates your deputy arrived at IHS hospital and then departed IHS hospital a full 50 minutes later?
Yes.
All right. In fact, in these exhibits that were referred to by Mr. Domina, most of these calls that are set forth involve calling OST or IHS or transporting people to Pine Ridge or to the hospital.
A lot of them, yes.
And so the implication that that never happened is incorrect, is that right? Now these dispatch logs, like for example 153, a dispatch log is a recording of calls that are made to a dispatch center, is that right?
Yes.
And that could be a 911 call?
That could be.
It could be a call to your communication center for Sheridan County?
Yes.
It could be a radio transmission from an officer?
Yes.
Or an ambulance?
Right.
Okay. It is not the record of where your deputies are patrolling?
No.
And it is not a definitive record of every action that your deputies and you have taken on any particular day, is it? The log that you began making in November, did you do that because you knew there was an issue about adequacy of law enforcement in Whiteclay?
I knew everybody's doubting the time that was spent in Whiteclay, and so I thought I'd have a record to show that it was in black and white, that show when we were there and when we were.
And you made that record to not only help you have that information, but to assist this commission in knowing what time you and your office actually spend in Whiteclay.
Right.
I don't have anything further.
I think it's about.
Thank you, Sheriff Robbins, your excuse the witness. We're going to take a 10-minute recess to discuss timing and also because of the breath breaks. We'll reconvene at 6 o'clock with further information.
Can I speak with counsel briefly?